Well, hello, everyone. Welcome in to the TexAgs post-game wrap. We are having a great time here as Texas A&M beats number 1 Alabama 41-38. This TexAgs post-game wrap is brought to you by Higginbotham Insurance. You probably only think about insurance when you need it, but at Higginbotham, they think about your risk, and they want you covered year-round. They start by listening with a custom solution that fits your needs and your budget, whether it's at home, your car, your health, business, or employees. Higginbotham has you covered. They're a place that leads with their values so that your value leads. Call Tyler Smith, 979-871-3162. And what a freaking night. I want to bang the table, but Dalton will get mad, guys. From the beginning of this game, it felt different. There were a couple of moments where I got a little tense, right? I think in the third quarter, Zach had a little stretch where he was 0 for 7. They didn't have a lot of offensive plays there. I think 10 entering the fourth quarter or midway through the fourth quarter. And it wasn't not midway, earlier than that. It wasn't looking good, but an amazing turn of events. I talked to a couple people on my way to the studio from the game, from zero to hero, and Zach Calzada will be etched in lore here for a long, long time. An amazing, amazing performance by the young man who some people thought he was done after he got hit. He didn't even know he threw the touchdown pass to Anaya Smith to tie the game. He took that bad hit, comes back and fires, and really what I thought was the most gutsy play was when he ran for that first down to get the chains moving. What an incredible performance. And really, Jimbo Fisher talks about the standard. They played that standard all 4 quarters. A makeshift offensive line, injuries throughout the secondary. Zach Calzada, your second-string quarterback, taking hits, taking criticism, avoiding all that social media to come through and have the biggest performance of his career. Really one of the best nights ever in Texas A&M football history. There have been some great ones, but being there, that place was electric there in the fourth quarter, the atmosphere, the crowd. And then if you guys get a chance at some point, you'll definitely want to check out my video there from the field. Olin Buchanan's response to the touchdown, just incredible. It just really, so many things we can get into. We're going to get into your comments here on the post-game wrap. We'll really take the game in parts. But we have to start with the fourth quarter and just the way that the Aggies answered back. And to me, it was a night where they were the best team, the better team, but you kept on feeling that Alabama was going to make a run. And they started to make their run. And guess what A&M would do? They would respond. If it was the punt block that scored, making a one-score game, to when A-Chain going to the house, 96-yard touchdown, to bring it right back. It just canceled that play out. And then Alabama having a chance to win the game. They take the lead. Everything looks great for them. No, sir. That's where Calzada got hot again. He started the game great. He finished the game great. And what a performance. The 12th man, sometimes I cringe when the questions are asked about the 12th man because, yeah, it's a big deal. It's a huge deal. Today, it was a factor in that game, and I can guarantee all those recruits that were in there, they're thinking about signing right now. You could not leave that game without being just so proud, so into it. Just an incredible performance. A couple things I also want to bring up. Leone O'Neal, another big game. Michael Clements, another big game. Your veterans stepped up, and they brought it. How about Seth Small? Continuing to deliver when he needs to. Isaiah Spiller, he gets hurt for a while. The offense struggles. He comes back. The offense picks right back up. What he and A-Chain can do in the backfield, just remarkable. And just play after play, to be able to withstand Alabama's run and to be able to come back. And I think about it, guys. You had to stop them. You score, you tie the game, you stop them, you get the ball, you make the first downs. Just an incredible performance. Let's go to our post-game wrap crew. We'll start things off with Brandon Leone. And Brandon, I think you're still in Florida, right?
Yes, I am.
So... All right, where do we start, man? Because to me, it's about Zach Calzada's moment. People have been so critical of his play, yet the biggest moment, he stepped up. He stepped up against Colorado, different kind of opponent, but he needed to in the big play. He did it again tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you can't help but be absolutely thrilled for that kid. He's obviously hasn't lived up to his potential the past few weeks, and Aggies have just been raining down on him to the point it became a national story, and that's frustrating. That's disappointing, right? But, at the end of the day, we hear Jimbo talk about that word potential, and he says he hates it. And I get it. nobody likes to hear the word potential when being referred to as you have so much potential, because that means you're not achieving what you're supposed to. But how about it when those dudes play to their damn potential? Look what happens. Like you said, with two young offensive linemen, a backup quarterback, Calzada just played his heart out tonight, man. And I mean, just getting a tweet from Manziel, he got so much love on social media. So listen, as an Aggie, as a competitor, as a former player, I couldn't be happier for him. I'm so damn happy for Jimbo Fisher as a football coach, what he's trying to instill at this program. You said the standard. This is the first time I think we've seen them, like you said, play 4 quarters to that standard. And what can this team accomplish when healthy completely and when they consistently play to that standard? I'm like you said, I'm at Disney with my daughter all week, bro. My boss sent me here on a trip. He's your friend, Andy Jackson. It's been the most blessed
Yeah.
week in the world. And I've been sitting in here. She's asleep in the room next to me. And I'm sitting in here like Gary Bertier on Remember the Titans, just screaming in silence, like just trying not to lose my mind while she's sleeping watching this game, bro. I'm so fired up, so happy. And I don't know what to say except I'm so damn happy for the Texas A&M football team.
Hey, so I want to go back to something you mentioned, Jimbo, because really Jimbo and Zach, I believe, have been the two guys that have gotten the most criticism out there. And every time somebody brings up Jimbo, it's about the $9 million contract and this and that and the 10 years and really A&M and blah, 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 blah. You know what? You guys are a bunch of losers, and Jimbo's a winner. And he told you that he was going to kick Nick Saban's ass, and that's exactly what he did.
That's damn right. Listen to me, man. Someone I saw, I don't know who it was, some reporter from LSU last week tweeted out, I think we talked about this already, the records of Ed O and Nick Saban were the same, and the records for Kevin Sumlin and Jimbo Fisher were the same, and comparing them. And I had even some dude, anyways, it's not worth it, but some dude on Twitter talking trash to me about it. And I'm like, if you can't see the trajectory of this program. Yes, we've played like piss the last few weeks and really haven't played great all season, but we've dealt with a lot of crap, right? Injuries, you know what I'm saying? Young players having to step in key moments. And listen, those same young players who've gained some experience, wins and losses, through adversity, you can tell, fought through, battled, and, man, they put it all together tonight. And this is what it's all about, man. This is what it's all about. And you said this other thing, Nuño, that I think was critical is all night in the fourth quarter especially, and really in the second half. Offense was kind of down in the third quarter, but we answered on critical possessions, dude. They blocked a punt for a touchdown, and if you're an Aggie fan, your heart sank. And then Devon houses a touchdown. They score a touchdown to take the lead, and we leave a guy wide open. You're thinking, oh, my gosh. And Calzada marches the team down. They score a touchdown. Then the defense gets a stop, and they come back. You're thinking Bose is about to try it out on the field, and you're thinking, oh, my gosh. And 10 comes out of the tent and makes a freaking just unbelievable. It's just, anyways, I'm fired up, dude. I don't really know what to say, except I'm just so damn happy, period.
Yeah, I'm so damn happy. And another thing I want to get into is the season now, how different it feels, tastes, looks, all the words you want to use for it, because everybody had written the story on Texas A&M moving forward. They're going to have to wait for Haynes. They're going to lose 3 straight, you know, and I believe a lot of us felt it. But I'm going to share this story with you, Brandon, and with our audience. I was on my way to the stadium, and a gentleman stopped me, and he's like, hey, I'm being optimistic. You know why? Because I picked to be optimistic, because why not? And what happens if we win the game? Well, exactly. That happened. Those 3 losses that people are talking about is now 2. You're going to Missouri with a team that knows that they can play with anybody in the country, no matter who's playing, backup or not.
Yeah, I mean, listen, how can you not choose to not be how can you not be optimistic, right? Like, listen, I know it's been frustrating. What are you going to do? Just sit and piss and whine and cry and moan and complain? And I mean, that's what it seems like everybody's been doing, just pouring negativity. Like, I can't comprehend how people live like that, right? Like, not to be too personal, but a significant amount of my childhood was tough, dude. It was hard, but you can't just dwell on the negativity. You have to choose to be positive. You have to overcome adversity. And thank God, or at least I pray, these kids don't sit there and read, you know, what some of the people post or what some of the people say on Twitter. You know they do sometimes, but man, I'm so happy that these players, and we talked about this, what's next for these players? We hope that they kind of batten down the hatchets and focus as a team and just look at what's ahead. And like you said, man, winning cures everything. It literally does. It erases 2 horrible losses to Arkansas and Mississippi State. It erases some subpar performances. When you have this type of environment with recruits in there, the national stage is watching you on a CBS night game. You can erase a lot of negative things for fans, for recruits, and even for the team. The team mindset is the most important thing, not the fan mindset. And, obviously this team has enough maturity, veteran leadership and coaching to bounce back more so than our fans do. And I'm super thrilled for that because, man, they get to live it up. They get to enjoy this. And I love hearing, I just saw a little bit on Tyree Johnson's post press conference, and he was saying, hey, this is a great win, but we can't stop now. That's the thing, is that we're going back to the standard, Nuño. This can't be our national championship. This is a big win. We had to have this as a program. And now you go on to the next one. This one's celebrate tonight. Go to Northgate, kids. Have fun. Be safe. Call somebody, Uber, get yourself home safe. Do whatever you need to do to be responsible. But come Sunday morning and Monday, it's back to work. It's back to reality, and it's back to the week-to-week SEC grind, period.
Brandon, we're going to put you in the lobby for a second before we get your parting shots. Thank you very much. We'll get back to you here in a moment. Let's now go to Chris Taylor, who was checking in on the game. And by the way, thank you to both of you guys for bearing with us as I went to the Jimbo's press conference afterwards. CT, I'm going to give you a chance to just kind of give me your emotions after that beautiful game there.
Man, it was definitely a game of ups and downs for me. I'm sitting there and I'm excited. We go down, take that first drive down. We put 3 on the board, and then Bama comes back and they answer back. So I'm like, oh crap, what's this thing gonna look like? And then, it just, those guys, just the rest of the first half, A&M just dominates that first half. And, going into halftime, you're up 14, you feel great. And then you have a blocked punt. And, kind of like Brandon said, I'm like, well, dang, your heart kind of sinks there. And then the very next play, A-Chain takes the thing 96 to the house. And then, it's just, it's a game of emotion. And like Brandon said, it's kind of hard to try to channel all of that and put it all into words. But, man, to have those guys go out and fight and scrap and scrape and do all the things that they did. And, the guy that I think that I'm the most happy for is Zach. Because, I mean, he's taking a beat. And, it's been, the Arkansas game and even, parts of the Colorado game and then going into last week with Mississippi State. And the kid just came out and he played 21 of 31, 285 yards, 3 touchdowns. He threw the 1 pick, but he didn't let that get him down. I think the biggest play of the season so far was a throw he made to Anais for the touchdown. He doesn't see it. He never saw the play, and then just shows the heart and the guts, to come back out and to keep fighting because he knows that's what his team needed, man. And so, the Kyle Field, and we talked about this on Wednesday, it's a special place. And things happen there, and we said, it felt like that Nebraska in '98, and it felt like that OU game, and just the way the 12th man, and I mean you could just see the excitement, the electricity in the building, and man, those guys went out, they played their hearts out, they played with guts, and they showed what it really means to never give up and to keep fighting and keep pushing and come out of that thing with a win. So just extremely excited for the program. Excited for Jimbo, excited for Zach, and really just, I'm excited to see what these guys are going to do and put together for the rest of the season.
Chris, one of the things we talked about leading up to this game was the importance of a fast start. And what I think happened today with that fast start was not only did the players believe, but I think players believe regardless, right? They know that they can come back, or they feel that they can. That's why they're competitors. But what it did for Kyle Field, and now you're up at the end of 1 quarter. Oh, and now you're up midway through the 2nd quarter, like what it does for the belief of the stadium. So when you get to that 4th quarter and Kyle Field had to erupt, it erupted, and it really affected Alabama and pushed A&M through.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the number 1 team coming in. And you know that they're going to keep fighting. They're going to keep scrapping. They're going to keep pushing to try to get back and win that game. And each time, Alabama would punch us and A&M would respond. And then they'd punch us again. A&M would respond. But I think the biggest thing, man, these guys gave the fans something to cheer about. They gave them something to be excited about. And so, with those guys, the way they play, I mean, defensively, to watch Clemens and Tyreek Johnson, the way they flew around. And, I mean, that was the first time I had seen Bryce Young. He looked out of sorts that first half. He was out of sync. He just couldn't figure out what was going on. And, that's a credit to that 12th man being a part of that defense and being able to disguise things. And so, man, I don't think people realize how special of a place Kyle Field really is. And, I never had to deal with crowd noise when I played there. Luckily, that was the case. But, man, I can only imagine the energy, the electricity in that place when that defense is on the field and they're out there. And then, that last drive Alabama had, we needed to get off the field. And defense goes out there, they put a stop up. And, like I said, I can only imagine what it was like. Offense goes down, gets a couple of first down, give Seth an opportunity to kick the game winner. And, man, I can only imagine how the place erupted once that thing went through the pipes.
Let's talk about that defense because there was a little stretch where I was getting worried on third downs, right? But I want to go to the beginning of the game and the end of the game, and really both the defense and offense. But the beginning of the game, I mean, the sacks, Tyree Johnson getting back there, just Michael Clemens going after Bryce Young on almost every play. I mean, defensively, they started the game incredibly, and they finished it that same way. And really, you saw Mike Elko at his best by the way he was disguising his defenses, confusing the opposition. It really, to me, yes, there was a middle part where, Bama's the best team in the country. They're going to get their yardage. They're going to find a way to score their 38 points. But when it counted in the beginning and at the very end, they were able to really make life very difficult for Alabama.
Man, it really shows it shows the guts that those guys have on defense. I think at some point, as I was watching the game, in the second half, Bama had run 35 plays to our offense's 10 plays. Mm-hmm. And that's a long, long, long time. And I know we're in October and it's supposed to be cooling off, but I think it got up to 90, 92 degrees today. So it was hot. And it's a credit to those guys for the shape that they're in, for the grind that they do, day in and day out, week in, week out, just to be able to go through. And I mean, you didn't see a bunch of our guys on that defense. You didn't see them doubled over. You didn't see them cramping. You didn't see any of those things. Those guys played 4 complete quarters. And, Mike Elko, tremendous game plan. Like I said, I think Bryce Young, I think he was confused with a lot of things that A&M was doing, having free rushers to be able to get home and to be able to affect, his feet. And you don't necessarily have to sack a quarterback, but to get back there and he feels pressure around him, he wasn't playing his best in that first half. He kind of got in a rhythm that second half, but then the defense steps up again. And they played a ton of plays. They played their hearts out. And, man, they made the plays when they needed to be able to pull that game out.
Let's bring in Brandon Leone again. And, guys, and I'll start off with Brandon. To me, you always hear about complementary football, the all the areas, special teams, defense, offense. Today, Brandon, that was on display. All the levels of football were played at maximum effort and just really just everything they did, to me, was like the last play of the game. That's what it felt like. The urgency that they played with, the way they attacked, the way all 3 areas complement each other, to me, was a difference in this game.
Oh, I mean, no question. And this if tonight didn't prove it, football is a 3-phase game. And there's a lot of guys that play a lot of time in the NFL that make a lot of money from just playing special teams alone. I mean, probably the best deep snapper in NFL history is a walk-on from Texas A&M named Dom Muleback, right? I mean, so special teams made a big play. We gave up a big play, but we responded. And that's the thing that I want to touch on, Nuño, is when we touched on it earlier. All 3 phases responded when they needed to respond. The defense came up with some huge stops in the red zone. Damani with the interception, to take away points from them getting into the red zone. And then late in the game when we held them to that last field goal, before they drove down and scored the touchdown to take the lead, those are big stops at big moments. And then obviously after we got the game winning, or the game tying touchdown to get a stop and give us the opportunity to drive down and win. And so all three phases were on point. One thing I want to say, I think CT hit the nail on the head. Bryce Young was confused tonight. Elko dialed it up. We brought pressure. We didn't bring any pressure last week at all. And the few times we did, they gashed us. And tonight we just said, screw it. Let's bring pressure. And it was to our advantage. They got us a couple times, and that's what good players do. Like you said, Alabama's going to get theirs, and sometimes they did. But the other thing I wanted to say, Nuno, that I thought was critical, look at who scored touchdowns for us on offense. Who were the guys scoring for us? Anaya Smith, the stars. Our star players made big-time plays. Isaiah Spiller was huge. He was huge for us. And he didn't, the yards and the stats maybe weren't there, but he made big plays when he had to. Jalen's best game of the season. It's not even close. Anaya Smith, best game of the season. And to me, it's probably not even close. And then obviously Devon on special teams, and he made some big plays as well. He didn't have as many touches on offense, but the kick return, answering like that when it seemed like all hope was lost, those four guys, got to feed them. Those are the beasts. They got to eat.
I'll throw another one. Jalen Watermeyer early on in this game. I know he had the drop in the third, but early on, huge for this team. Back-to-back plays. CT, I'll give you a chance to respond to all areas of football complementing each other tonight on display against Alabama with a national audience watching.
Yeah, and Brandon, you're on point with that. All three phases, and I even think that you have to give credit to that 12th man because we talk about hidden yardage in the game, and to be able to disrupt what they want to do because it's so loud and you can't hear. There was I think it was late in that first half where Bama had lined up to go for it. 12th man gets loud, false start, boom, they got to punt it away. We don't know how that situation is going to play out, but give credit to them for doing that. And then, being able to have a big play in the kicking game. We haven't had those things happen this season. We haven't returned any kicks. We did give up the block punt, but to respond like that and A-Chain being able, the funniest part of that play was Preston running down the field. They hit the 50-yard line and he's got a finger in the air like, yep, he's gone. Nobody's catching him. So, man, the stars did eat. And I think we saw, we talked a little bit about it after the Colorado game that you saw Zach taking some steps. And then, you get into SEC play and the two games, that's what they are. But you saw him take a leap forward tonight, and he's just got to continue that momentum. But, Jalen 8 tonight, Anias 8 tonight, A-Chain, he had big plays. Spiller had big plays in the game. But then, I'm going to put Zach in that category as well. You saw him grow up. You saw him. This is the biggest stage, 7 o'clock, CBS. You're playing the number one team in the country, and you go out and you put a performance together like that. You don't bat an eye. You took all the criticism on the chin the last 2 weeks, and you come out and you put a game like that together. Give him the key to the city. He did his thing tonight. He ended a winning streak. 19-game winning streak, got Jimbo the first assistant to beat Nick Saban. A bunch of firsts happens in this game. And, you had a lot of guys that played a big part of it. That defense, I won't say the wrecking crew is back, but dadgummit, they're knocking on the door to be that defense. And hats off to those guys for what they did.
Hey guys, this ended up not being a huge deal, but I got to thank Bill O'Brien for the offensive coordinator for Alabama, deciding to throw the ball 3 straight times inside the 5-yard line, and it ended up being a field goal where they made it a 1-point game. But the way they were running the ball at that point, I thought it was ridiculous that it didn't run in. So thank you, Bill, for doing what you had to do there. We've seen it in Houston before. That was the A. The B, I think it's only fitting that we start the show with the way we're going to end the show. And props to 2 guys that have been under fire for the last couple of weeks from A&M fans, from national media, from people who love to talk on social media. But Jimbo Fisher and Zach Calzada, there's been reasons to be tough on them, but some of the ways people were tough, I think were very unfair, especially with Jimbo and his contract and the kind of coach he is, people forgetting what he's dealing with without his starting quarterback, with so much movement on the offensive line, with wide receivers missing time, with secondary missing time, all those things, this guy was able to coach the best game of his career, perhaps, or one of the best games of his career. And Zach Calzada, people had given up on him. People did not think he could complete a pass. This guy just went and beat the number one team in the country and made game-winning plays throughout that game.
Yeah, I thought he was super decisive tonight. I mean, you didn't see a bunch of rolling and doing those things, man. He hit that back foot. And when you say he has a live arm, man, the kid has a cannon. He has an absolute cannon. So, man, Dave, hey, you said it right, man. Jimbo, Calzada, man, I'm so happy for those guys. Very proud of them.
Hey,
Brandon, any final thoughts?
well, final thoughts is, hell yeah, Jimbo Fisher for backing up the talk from this summer. And congratulations to Jimbo Fisher for getting the first W against Nick Saban, the first assistant coach to get a win against Nick Saban. And man, like you said, dude, this is Calzada's a young guy. I mean, let's be real. He's been here for a while, but from a playing on the field standpoint, and quarterback's not like DB where you come in, you play nickel some, or maybe even CT can speak to this, where a receiver where you come in, you get 10 to 12 snaps, you run block a few, maybe you catch a couple passes. This guy's coming in and playing starting quarterback for a top 5 program after not seeing the field in a damn long time. And it takes a little bit of time to get used to it when you're playing with the big boys in the SEC West. And, man, hopefully he can build on this. Hopefully him and Jimbo can build a relationship, and have confidence together. This can be like kind of a bonding moment for them, similar to what Jimbo had with Kellen, because this is the same stuff that Kellen and Jimbo went through at the beginning of their time together, and look how they finished up. So they fast-forwarded the process tonight, Jimbo and Calzada, and I'm so excited to see what this team can do now that they probably are going to have some confidence. And I also want to say a huge shout-out to the offensive line for playing the way that they played tonight. No sacks given up. And then also, man, ice in his veins. Seth Small, bro. Come on, man. This dude, all he does is make field goals. Like, what a boss.
Hey, so go ahead. I'm sorry, CT.
No, I was going to say last thing, last time the score was 41-38. A&M went on to win, I think, what was it, 11 in a row? So,
That's right.
Man, big game. Started something special. Let's get this thing started and go and run the table.
Hey, guys, I've been told we have a special video that I don't know. It's a surprise. So I'm going to allow Dalton to cue it up, and let's take a look.
In golf?
I think he
Yeah, in golf. Thank you, Nick Saban. Yeah. And guys, I try not to say words I shouldn't use, but A&M just beat his ass. Sorry.
That's right. Let's go, baby.
Let's go.
This.
Jimbo CT. Not Jimbo. I just called Brandon Jimbo.
I'll take it. You call me Jimbo.
Hey, we're all Jimbo tonight, baby. We're all Zach and we're all Jimbo tonight. Both of you guys, thank you so much, man. We'll talk to you next week.
See you guys.
See ya. All right, good stuff there. We appreciate them. So some final thoughts. What an amazing evening. And it's going to be a fun show this week. People were talking about, is A&M even going to get bowl eligible? Yeah, we just beat the number one team in the country. We did that. And I'm taking credit for it too. I was at Reed Arena when AC Law hit the shot, and it was one of the best moments of my career. I even said that coming here to TexAgs. Astros World Series run and AC Law shot. And I'm sorry, folks, but what I went through tonight, an amazing evening. All of us went through it together. All you TexAggers out there, all Aggie fans everywhere. This was just a night that our sports community was hurting the last 2 weeks. Absolutely hurting. But this team throughout the game made you believe. And I know we hadn't seen that in the last couple of weeks, even in some of their victories. Like, I don't know if this team figured it out. That offensive line blocked today. They ran the ball today. Their defense attacked today. Jimbo Fisher called a great game. Mike Elko called a great game. And they beat the number one team in the country. And Jimbo, congratulations. Happy birthday. Huge victory. But you're right. You got Missouri coming up. Win that one. And now, how does this season feel? At 4-2, you went through that gauntlet. You lost to Arkansas. You hadn't found yourself yet. Mississippi State was just a bad matchup. You beat Alabama. Take care of business these next couple of weeks. Get into that bye week. And Zach, thank you for proving that you're a gamer. You can make that game-winning throw. All right, that'll do it for the TexAgs post-game wrap. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching. And Our thanks to Higginbotham Insurance for bringing it to us as well. Thank you so much, guys. Congratulations, A&M. They win at 41-38.